There is an aggravating, annoying series of events that are going on that needs to be addressed. And I've addressed it in the past a little, at some point, points pretty passionately. The never Trump dead enders, that's what I call them, now have actually taken it another step further. And they've launched a TV ad campaign. They want to sabotage any chance Donald Trump has of beating Hillary Clinton, and they want to help Hillary Clinton become president. And let me be clear. If you're a Republican conservative and you're not supporting Trump, you are helping to make Hillary Clinton president. Just whether you want to hear that or not, that is a fact. It's indisputable. Incontrovertible evidence. If you're supporting Gary Johnson instead of Trump because you want to send a message, you're helping Hillary. That's my answer. It's what I believe, and I have a certain fidelity to the truth to always be honest with my audience, and that is the truth. You want to vote for Gary Johnson, that's a half a vote for Hillary. You want to oppose Trump, you want to stay home, that's a half a vote for Hillary. Anyway, the ad is titled Keep Your Word. This is a dumb ad. It features footage of Trump during a Republican primary debate or a moment during the primary where he suggested he'd drop out if he saw his poll numbers decline. Number one, I'm not a masochist, and if I'm dropping in the polls where I saw I wasn't going to win, why would I continue? He said that in October in an NBC interview featured in the ad. It's almost a year ago. Anyway, so the graphic displayed political handicappers' prediction of a landslide Trump loss accompanies his remarks. The ad ends with a plea. Resign the nomination. Let the RNC replace you so we can beat Hillary. The 30-second ad is marked for a limited run on broadcast networks in Florida, Virginia, Ohio, Michigan. Now, the ad is backed by a 5-figure buy, and the group hopes to eventually expand its run to the Fox News channel. Great. I hope they don't run it during my show. You're wasting your money because I'll come on right after and say that's a waste of money. Don't listen to that ad because it would be a waste of money. Here's what I want to tell you. I want to start with the candidates. John Kasich, you made a pledge. You're the governor. You've been a friend of mine a long time. You made a pledge you'd support the nominee. You have not kept your promise. How can I trust you if you ever want to run for president again? Your word is your bond in life. You broke your word. Governor Jeb Bush, you gave your word. You gave a promise. You're not supporting the candidate. How do we trust you? The same thing goes for Lindsey Graham. Boys like Ted Cruz think he could be a great president one day. But Ted Cruz has not lived up to his word either.
Senator Cruz, yes or no, you will support Donald Trump if he's the nominee?
Yes, because I gave my word that I would. And what I have endeavored to do every day in the Senate is do what I said I would do. You know, just on Tuesday, we saw an overwhelming victory in the state.
We get the point. I don't want to single out Ted Cruz. I actually think of those four that the guy that will come around is going to be Ted Cruz. That's my opinion, because I think he's a man of integrity. But we'll see. It's taken him an awfully long time to get there, in my humble opinion. Now, to the rest of you all out there, let me just say, whether you want to hear it or not, I don't care if you're Wall Street Journal, some people at National Review like Jonah Goldberg, National Review in general. You know, with all due respect, both my kids are pretty competitive athletes. And one of the things you learn being an athlete is you got to learn to be a gracious winner and a good loser if you lose. You can't be a sore loser in life. And some of you people are acting like sore loser, crybaby, bad sports, pick your toys up and go home type of people. Now, my promise to my audience in March of 2015 was I'm going to give as much airtime to all the candidates on radio and TV and let the people decide. And they decided in record numbers, Donald Trump. And then I said in March of 2016 that I'm going to support the nominee, and some of you are going to be emotional, and I knew that this was going to happen. Well, let me just say to all of you, and that includes the commentator class, that includes the Jonah Goldberg class, that includes, radio talk show host Glenn Beck is like it's a holy war for him at this point. I mean, he's off the rails, attacking me every day, blaming me for Trump. Well, no, I was fair to everybody, Glenn, whether you want to admit it or not. I know I was fair. My conscience is clear. And I I'll proudly pull the lever for Donald Trump with a clear conscience. And here's what I want all of you to know. Now, I do make certain caveats. Here's a couple of friends of mine that don't like Donald Trump, don't like his presentation, don't like his demeanor. Okay, I get it. You know, there's other friends of mine that were very close to Senator Ted Cruz. All right, I can make exceptions there. There are extenuating circumstances for people. A friend of mine who's a coach said that they've got to use their discernment for the best possible outcome. Best scenario, worst scenario is how they judge things. You know, with Trump, even if you're a never Trumper, the worst scenario is maybe you don't like the way he's saying things. With Hillary, you get a known pathological congenital liar. With Trump, you have someone who could become a great leader and could do great things and really change this country if he does what he says he's going to do. With Hillary, your country, your Constitution, and all it has stood for will continue a rapid decline to a point where it may be destroyed. And the very frightening thing is so many U.S. citizens might want to have a liar than somebody who's politically incorrect as president. Well, I'm telling you right now, if you're a coach, you don't want the liar on your team. And that's what you're going to get. And somebody who has sold her office for money. So here's what I say to all of you never Trumpers. Glenn Beck, I hope you're listening. You owned Hillary Clinton's Supreme Court appointments. You own it. You are doing everything you can do to cast doubt in people's minds. Trump gave us a list. You own her Supreme Court nominees. You own the unvetted refugees and the 550% increase you will bring into this country. You own the jobs that illegal immigrants will take from the 95 million Americans out of the labor force. You own Obamacare, which is a disaster for this country. You own education because she's beholden to the NEA. And if we don't improve the lives of 95 million Americans out of the labor force, I blame you for that, too, because you're helping elect her. And I'm also saying that, hey, we have a $4,100 increase in health care payments since Obama's been president. It's only going to go higher. You get responsibility for that, too. We've got 12 million more Americans on food stamps. If that increases, I'm going to blame you. We have 46 million total. We have 8 million more Americans living in poverty, 50 million Americans in poverty. If that gets worse, I'm blaming you. You know, we have the worst home ownership rate in 51 years. If that gets worse, guess who I'm blaming? I'm blaming all of you, arrogant, stubborn, lying about what Trump has said and his record, purposefully distorting, creating doubt, misperception. And you're so obsessed, some of you, with Trump, you don't even go over how corrupt Hillary is and what a disaster Obama has been. And if we have 1 in 5 American families 4 years from now still without a single family member working, I'm blaming you. And if in 4 years from now we have 1 in 6 American men 18 to 34 in jail or living in mommy's basement, I'll still blame you. And if we continue to build up more debt than every other president combined, like Obama did, well, that's your debt, and that's the money you're helping to steal from our kids. And we have the lowest labor force participation rate since the 70s. Well, I blame you for that. And if we elect a president because you're so stubborn, arrogant, and stupid that can't say radical Islam and can't engage an enemy and identify it, that's your fault as well. And if you help elect the single most corrupt person to ever seek the presidency, somebody who lies like she did, somebody who has sold out her office for gain like she has, somebody who has failed on Iran and ISIS and radical Islam in general, and Iraq and Syria and North Africa and Libya, I blame you. Now you're going to say, Hannity, we blame you. You gave Donald Trump time on your show. And I gave every other candidate time. His agenda is infinitely better than hers. And if you can't see that, then that's your problem. You own it. You own her. You own every dumb thing she's about to do. I blame you. Got it? I'm going to name names regularly if she wins.